Scortasini per Nedved, gol! Pirlo, la conclusione in rete! Andrea Pirlo, un gol pazzesco! Del Piero, gol! Alex, Del Piero! Palla di Pogacar, Pogba, rete! Un gol incredibile! Pogba fa esplodere lo Juventus Stadium!
Here we go, boys and girls. Farhad here. I'm the host that loves you most. We are here post Juventus-Como. Turin Giants podcast, episode number 349. Like I said, I'm Farhad. I'm joined here by Frederick and Rav. Early game. We're going to wait for some people to join us here on YouTube. Meanwhile, I'll say hello to my powerful and handsome co-hosts, Rav, Frederick. How are you, boys?
Depressed.
Man.
So depressed. Yeah.
Frederick, what's up, buddy?
I couldn't give a shit anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm over.
We've lost him.
No, I'm done. Really. Like if I have to, get elevated blood pressure and gastrointestinal complaints. By the way these guys are playing, and I see them on the pitch, and they don't even care. Then why should I? They can fuck off, a lot of them. Sell everybody, sell everything, sell the stadium for all I care. I don't give a rat's ass anymore. This is beyond embarrassing. This is I'm sorry. This is one of the greatest downfalls in Juventus history as a whole. Not just this game. No fight, no spirit, no desire, no will, no nothing. Fuck right off.
Well, I was actually thinking of my pal Frederick during the game, because he cares. He's one of those Juve fans that has been with the team forever, as many of us have, and he's. People make fun of you on our reels and our shorts and YouTube, and no, they don't make fun of you, but you're that guy that gets upset, truly. And why wouldn't you? You're a big fan, and even you, like people who are dedicated to the team to the point that you are starting to kind of give up, say I don't care anymore, right? It's rough to watch.
It's just sad because you've been in a loop for 5 years now, and you change everything from management to players to coaches, and there's nothing. There's no sense of improvement, no leadership quality, no desire, fight, hungriness, however you want to call it. We've called this Juventus DNA or whatever, and I don't care about the prizes or the titles or whatever. I just want to see my team out there doing everything they can just for the history of the club, for the jersey, for the people that represented Juve in the past. I can't even see a glimpse of that. So to me, it's like, meh, like you're not worthy of my time or my expenses, or I'll watch them, but I'm emotionless. I'm like, oh, Di Gregorio made another Di Gregorio move. Ain't that cute? I don't even get upset anymore.
Yeah, it's to the point where you can't really get mad anymore. Rav, my brother from across the pond, the guy with the velvet voice. How are you, bud?
Oh, I'm so sick and tired, man. Same as Frederick. It's like, you know what Spaletti said the other day about 3 steps back, and this is it. Like,
so we managed to take the 4th one back now too.
Yeah, it's not even the 4th one; it's like the 5th one. And I was watching the game, and I was thinking, like every time we get to a point where we're playing well, and we think this player is the answer to this question, or this player is the answer to this question, or Spaletti is the answer to our coaching issue, and then you start to feel that little bit of confidence. You're like, okay, we're making progress. I know where we're going. We're on a path. We've got a playing style. And then this fucking shit happens. And then you're like, no, this goalkeeper isn't the right goalkeeper for us. This defender isn't good enough. You start to question everything again. It's just every single game recently, in the last month at least, it's just questions and questions and questions, and no answers.
Well, let's take a step back, just like Juve, and let's talk about this game. I kind of made a few notes here. So obviously, going into this game, we're already a team that lost to Como in the first leg. You know, we're going in as losers already. 2-0, we lost in Como. That already should set off a red flag. That already should be like, you're not allowed to lose at home. Second game, especially not scoring any goals. Let's go out there. Let's crack some skulls. You're on a bad run. 13 goals conceded in the last 4 games. Let's not concede anymore. And even the commentator said in the beginning of the game that clean sheet is the priority right now. And that you're at home. You've had a bad run of games, but here we go. Right. So you've had 3-0 loss against Atalanta, Lazio 2-2. Of course, the loss against Inter 3-2, and the very sad loss in Turkey 5-2. You're on a bad run. This is a perfect game for you to reset, and this is what you do. Before we get into that, I wanted to ask. I even texted Frederick about it. Rumors, news, as well as on juvenewslive.com, which is Rav's website. Spaletti extension. What are you hearing?
I'm not hearing anything.
You're not hearing
anything.
And
I frankly, to be honest, I don't really care that much, because we can put, and I said this on Bepe's show as well, with these players, you can put Ancelotti and Guardiola on the training field. It won't matter. And Spalletti, I feel sorry to say, is to blame for this too. At Galatasaray in Istanbul, he made some tactical decisions which turned out to be pretty bad. But, these things happen. But if you're the coach and you can't get your players motivated and fired up for a game after you had one of the worst losses in your history since the 50s, in a game that is very important, and you as a coach can't transmit that energy to get them out on the field and keep or try to perform with everything that you have in you, then this is also on you. I'm sorry to say. So if you give Spalletti the same team next year, it'll be the same. Spalletti, and I said this numerous times, is a very good coach when things go well. When things don't seem to go so well, he gets in this paranoia, schizophrenic mood and doesn't know what to do and just does casual and random things in order to turn it around. And most of the time it doesn't work. So if you ask me, and I'm not the guy that says, get this guy out, get that guy out. But for me, you could sell anyone who was on the pitch today. You can let Spalletti return to wherever he wants to return. You can, sack Camoli. I honestly, I don't know what the remedy is here, because
Gotcha.
The issues are abundant. That's the thing. If there were 2 or 3 issues, then you could systematically resolve these issues. But now you have 100 of them. You don't know where to start. And by the time you solved one issue, 5 more pop out of the woodwork. So,
yeah. Well, let's discuss the starting lineup like we do at the top of every post game. First of all, weak-ass starting 11. You got Di Gregorio, Gatti, and of course there's reasons why it's a weak-ass starting 11. I'm not blaming Fully, Coach Fully, but Di Gregorio, Gatti, Kelly, Koopmeiners in the back, McKennie, Locatelli as captain, Thuram, Cambiaso, Miretti, Yildiz, and Openda. I wanted to ask you guys' opinion on Openda starting. What you guys think? Wrong decision, smart decision. He was kind of found out first few minutes of the game, right? Up to like 15th minute, he had a couple of touches where I think, again, the quality of the player comes into play. If it's a player of better quality, does he finish those opportunities in the first 20 minutes or so?
I think he's not good enough. He's not Juve standard. He's such an average player. He's low on confidence. He's not tall. He doesn't press that much. He's not particularly physical. what does he do as a striker? What does he give us? There's just nothing. It would have been better if we were going to do that. Just put McKennie into like the false nine position. At least he's tall. At least he's physical. At least he offers us something. The one chance that Openda did get, he kind of signaled exactly what he was going to do and just kind of, he tried to chip the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper wasn't having any of it. That was the only clear chance I remember him having. Just such a... I've been desperate for him to come good. I keep thinking that there's just going to be a game when he scores a goal and then he kicks on and it's going to get better and better and better. And it just doesn't. Yeah. It just gets worse and worse for him. It's so bad.
Frederick, what are your thoughts on our boy Openda for this game in particular?
40. I've said this before and I'll say it again. 45 million's down the drain, and it's not just this game or Openda. It's the gravity of the whole situation. We have players that don't belong at Juventus or that don't fit our formation or our coach. And we're basically neutering ourselves here because the players that you send out on loan with an obligation or an option might come back, meaning that you can kiss that money goodbye. The players that you have on your roster are either not Juve worthy or psychologically disturbed and don't know what to do to themselves, so you can't even sell them. So this is a Mexican standoff. I'm very curious how this will play out because the way I look at it, you had two players on the pitch that might be Juve worthy in any way, shape, or form today, and that were Kelly and Kenan. Their performances were not good either, but these are the only two players that I can think of that did something meaningful this season with some level of consistency. Meaning for your starting 11, you'll need to change 9. And I'm not even talking about the reserves or the players that come back from loan. I'm very curious to see how Comoli will solve that, but I can't see it being a successful thing.
Yeah, well, we had an unfortunate situation with the defenders. Kalulu ban upheld. The cowards at FIGC, even though everyone agreed that this was simulation, this was not his fault. They kept him off the team. Bremer is injured. Shame. I mean, but at least it's not his knee. I think the fact that it's his hamstring, we're kind of grateful for that. And Emil Holm injured. What else is new? Juve injuries are stacking up. So yeah, the situation in the back was already kind of dire. But we want to say thank you and hello to all of our listeners that are tuning in here on YouTube Live. What are the comments here? Openda needs a big striker next to him. That's how he works. A lot of people are rightfully so, giving credit to Como. Great team, Fabregas. Some are shouting for Fabregas to Juve. I don't know what you guys think about that, but yeah, I mean, I think he's destined to coach a big team one day in Europe.
They wouldn't. You know what? I hate to say it. It would be the same as when we got Thiago Motta. It would just be, like they'll buy him. They won't give him long enough. They won't buy him the players that he needs. And like Frederick says, we're kind of stuck in this loop, like there just doesn't seem to be any escape from it. It's just the same thing season after season. The season is over now in February. Like we're now fighting for top 4. We're pretty much out of the Champions League. And this has just become the norm and we are supposed to accept it. And, like they'll make some controversial change in the summer and change coach maybe and start all over again, and then we blow it all up next season. We start all over again. It's just so fucking depressing, man.
Speaking of Champions League, honestly, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know Frederick's answer, but do you guys think we are out? Is this? Yes. Are you guys? Don't laugh! Don't. How dare you? Don't laugh! But listen to me. I've become an optimist recently. I've been very negative, especially
must be the pre-workout working then.
Well, I've been getting my workout advice from Frederick recently. Let me tell you, this man is into some sick shit. But yeah, I mean, it's. I don't know. I want to hope. I want to believe because. Man, losing to Galatasaray with their fans, it's it feels extra painful. Even the comments right now, I know there's some Galatasaray fan posting a GIF with a score line. It's rough. So no hope for Frederick. What about you, Ralph? Can we come back and maybe pull off a 4-1 or 3-0 or something?
I used to be so optimistic, like I used to be the one that used to get so much shit because I was the guy that would be like, oh no, there's still hope. We can, like Fino and Fino. Based on how we performed last week, no, there's no way that we will score because we can't score goals, and there's no way that we won't concede. We are so bad at the back, so it just feels like a foregone conclusion to me, and I cannot stress enough how much I hate saying that because I don't like being negative. I like to be positive, especially about Juve. But based on everything that's happened in the last month, we might score. Maybe we score 2 goals and then they score, so maybe it ends 2-1, and we leave the pitch with our heads held high or whatever.
Fizzle out, right? Well, let's get back to the game. I think one positive that we can take away from this game, and you can see here, Frederick is rocking a sick throwback from Juve. Juve came out with fire. I'm sorry, I love these jerseys. The red numbers and the horizontal stripes and the laces and the collars. But that's as soon as they enter if you're wearing a sweet 4th kit, you're not allowed to lose. I mean, it's such a shame that we can't look back at this game and see the photos in the future and look back at this game and remember,
they might be better off honoring the legacy of Juventus, not with throwback kits, but with throwback performances.
Yeah.
That might be a better idea because I don't give a shit about the kits or the marketing or whatever because I'm sorry. I don't even like him, but apart from that, I used to be into kits and into the new hype or whatever. But for now, I'm like, I ain't spending money on that. I'm not spending even in Turin. We were in the Napoli game. I didn't spend a lot. I was talking to Zach and I said, this doesn't feel right. This feels forced if I buy something of Juve because I have no connection anymore with this team. I used to have like this deep intertwined connection, this fire that kept my heart burning, this passion that I shared with the players, that I shared with memorable nights and performances, and it's all gone. And it's not because of just the results, and I can't emphasize this enough because I've even watched Juve in Serie B live for 5 or 6 times. I don't care about any of that. I just care about my team trying to do the best they can and honoring the legacy of all those players that went before them and the trophies that we won, mainly throughout our spirit and throughout our mentality and our culture, and that's completely been evaporated. So
someone here in the comments saying that throwback performances over throwback jerseys, please. I can't agree more. But one last thing I'll say about Yildiz continues to have the aura around him with a shirt tucked in, collar popped, and then contrast, you can see Cambiaso with the shirt out. He looks like he's wearing pajamas to bed. I don't know. Tell us in the comments if you like the shirt. We can pick that up a little later. But I liked it. I like the effort. But like Frederick said, I don't give a shit about what you're wearing as long as you're not performing the way you're performing. So let's get back to that. First 12 or so minutes into the game, they're trying Yildiz with a couple through balls. Yildiz is getting double team everywhere he goes, and that was kind of the story throughout the game as well. He let Openda run a little bit. Openda not having enough quality, maybe doesn't finish well. And then remember there was a moment I wrote down Cambiaso, confusion around the box, nervous defense, and again, those little passes that Galatasaray caught us a couple of times, even scored against us. I don't understand why they would continue playing around their box back and forth when it's such a nervous, it's such a it's not a team to do that. Basically, like get rid of the ball, boot it down the field at this point. I feel like, and there was a couple of mistakes, and even one that almost led to the goal. Cambiaso continues to show his quality, quote unquote.
I was going to say, if you look at the way that Como play, like Spalletti is trying to get the players to press a lot more.
Yeah.
And they just didn't do it in this game. Like Como are really good at just resisting the press. They always seem to have an extra man, and they play on the front foot a great deal. And then when you try and counter them, they are quite happy at making tactical fouls to slow the game down. And for someone who's experienced with Spalletti to kind of play into their hands a little bit, that felt really just extremely disappointing. Just to see him kind of get outsmarted by a much younger, I guess, sort of more progressive coach. It was really dreadful viewing. At no point did they look like they were going to score either, which is even more frustrating.
For sure, completely toothless performance. Everyone seemed lost. I don't know if it's too many games for them. They're tired. I mean, Yildiz did look a little tired, but would not imagine not having him out there.
Can we talk about Yildiz? Because we've always we've been pretty critical about certain players, and for some reason Yildiz is always left out of the equation, and I get why, because he's the golden boy and talented and whatever, but I don't see him standing up either. I'm sorry, I don't. For a player that earns 7 million and is with all this hype and whatever, I don't see him winning any games for us. I don't see him pushing us over the ledge and getting that extra effort in. And I know before the comments erupt, he's young and he still has a learning curve and whatever, but still you'd expect some more of him, especially in the individual part. Nothing seems to come off for him. And the excuse of being tired, I'm sorry, but if you're making 7 million a year and you have to play 2 games a week and you speak about tired, and this is nothing to yield this, it's about the general consensus of the state that which the team is in. I don't think you can use that excuse.
Well, a couple of people here in the comments are agreeing with you. Yildiz is upsetting and no one talks about it. Mohammed says Zero is saying he wasn't good today. Apparently, people are not on my side about the jersey. Jersey shit. We're cooked. He's garbage game, garbage jersey. Yeah, I have to.
And agree. Also, I have to pick in on Rob's comment a bit, because I think this is the first time in the Spalletti era that we haven't seen the team press as Spalletti wants them to do, and if we don't have that press, or we're not able to execute that press properly, you can see how poor we are, because we are unable to control the rhythm of the game. We succumb to the rhythm of the opposition, and we have no bearing in anything, on the influence of the game. And you can remedy that easily by getting at least 3 very, very good players in with experience. But guess what? We can't. We don't have any money. We don't have any appeal. And that's, the circle we're back in, as I said earlier. So somebody needs to think of a plan B. Somebody is the CEO of Juventus and gets paid a whole lot of money, and he needs to think of a plan B to get us out of this situation, and especially this loop. Because if you can't escape the loop, then it's going to be the same in, year out. You're going to throw a lot of money away. You're going to see these poor performances, and you still have nothing to show for. So if I were Comoli, and Alcon for that matter, I'd raise some questions and come up with some certain solutions, because we're heading nowhere fast.
Yeah.
I think it's so much about the starting 11 that we have. If you take out the first choice, if you take out any one of those players, even the ones that are average, everything falls apart. Like you take out Jonathan David, what you were saying about the press, Frederick, he runs a hell of a lot and he's not physical, but he can press those players. He can push for the ball. You take him out. Who have we got? Openda doesn't run. He's static. He doesn't really do a great deal. And that all then just starts to fall apart. There's no player up there. There's no focal point to bring in Yildiz and Conceição. And that's it. Then we're toothless. So we're reliant on one player in every single position. Take that player out, we collapse. That's it. Game over.
And that's the thing. If you have that press, you get Locatelli a lot more space and a lot more time to execute a through pass or a long ball or whatever. If you don't have that, then Locatelli is pushed more backwards, where he's pretty much useless, as we saw today and certain fragments of the Galatasaray game. And I find it very appalling that even the players on the pitch and Locatelli himself doesn't see that issue and doesn't try to remedy that. Because at a certain point, you could see that the Como defense was playing with 3 men behind, and you had one a bit further up in defense. If you press them centrally, you know that they'll attract the wingers, the defensive wingers in, meaning you get either some space on the wing or you get some space centrally. But we not even once did we try that. So the footballing IQ of our team, apart from all the rest that is very poor, is even poorer. And if you don't have those players with experience that can see that have that vision and that experience, and they can benefit from that and show the team what to do, then you're done for.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the game here a little bit. I know Frederick is going to either pop a vein or something, because the goal that was scored against, even both goals were they Como outplayed us completely today. Como made us look amateurish. I mean, Galatasaray, that's kind of Champions League, and they're champions of Turkey and Turkey, I should say. I mean, strong team. You lose to them, it's kind of like you lose away. It's a under the big European lights, but then you come home, must win against Como, which are a decent team, but you are Juventus, and then you show this lack of any sort of commitment, and then that's the goal. McKennie passes the ball to the center to no one. Dovica picks it up, passes it quickly to Vojvoda. Switches to the left. I don't know who he fooled there. Was that Kelly? I mean, with a switch to the left quickly, and then shoots. Koopmeiners, I apologize. Koopmeiners. And, he goes for the near corner, and then Frederick's boy. I mean, Frederick's been saying it for months, and now even the commentators, who are kind of like neutral, they have to be neutral in their opinions. They're saying this De Gregorio is just not Juventus' quality. It's you don't make a mistake like this game after game. De Gregorio, Cambiaso, they're continuing to have more negative influences on the game than positive. Frederick, let's hear it, man. De Gregorio, could he have done better in that situation?
Well, given the fact that we have a refrigerator with feet between the posts, I think he could.
Hey, refrigerator's good, man. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, I mean, my fridge would dive a lot better than he would. 35% of our games this season, 35% of our games, the first shot on goal was a goal.
Wow.
35%. And then there's people on Instagram telling me that I'm too harsh on De Gregorio. I'm not.
I think you won this battle. I think you have won.
I'm not asking for prime Buffon here. I need a steady goalkeeper. He's not even steady. Yeah. He's not even steady. And but he does some saves. No, he parries the ball when it's straight at him. I can do that. If you need somebody to pick out the easy balls, put me in goal. But
I
we need someone to get. Points for us. And I see Juve fan for life. 13 goals scored from the first shot. Yeah,
that's
13 goals out of the 44 games. So 13 times, which in my opinion is almost 34.8%, 35%.
Yeah,
that is disgusting.
Yeah, imagine how much better our situation would be if De Gregorio was. I mean, put Perrin in there. No,
No, don't
I'll
put Perrin
trust
in
him.
there. Jesus,
No,
please don't put Perrin in there. We don't have we do not have anything close, even like vaguely to Buffon. We don't even have like a duplicate copy that's been copied like 50 times. That would be better. Like, and I'm not going to defend Hugo Gorio because I think he's been poor for at least a month. But the defense just like what are we doing here? What do they do? They just panic. There's no like cohesion in the defense. There's no communication. Everyone's just kind of flapping every single time the ball goes into the box. I know that there's a 50-50 chance we're going to concede. That they just panic. There's no composure. There's no sort of communication. And again, like I said, I'm not defending the goalkeeper, but if you have defenders like Gatti in front of you and Koopmeiners, how many mistakes did he make today? If that's what you're dealing with, how in God's name? Like,
I can honestly say that me in my prime, I would have devastated Gatti. honest, no, and this is not because I was that good. I was mediocre at best, but he's so easy to play against.
Yeah.
You just one feint and the guy loses it completely, doesn't know where to look or what to do. One feint is enough. He's so stupid in terms of one-on-one situations and positioning. It's not even funny anymore. This is a Serie C player by all standards. And we can talk about his love for and he was a bricklayer or whatever. I don't give a toss about all these romanticized stories. I want a defender that's a defender. I want a Chiellini, I want a Montero, I want a Barzagli. But this is a Serie C defender at best.
Yeah, Gatti. I think he needs to work on his footwork. Honestly, he's a strong kid. The desire is there, but I just don't feel like they're practicing enough. I just don't feel like there's someone in the management that's saying, "Listen, you're a defender for Juve. Do you know the quality of players that put on this jersey to play defense for Juventus?" And there's you, there's Koopmeiners, we're praising Kelly, for Christ's sake. I mean, he's at least a little shining light in this defense. But yeah, Gatti, the hair looks good though. What do you think about that?
Better than mine.
Hey, I'll take bald Frederick over handsome freaking Shrek.
If I have his paycheck, then I'd definitely consider a hair swap as well. But he'd better be off swapping his feet or something and having feet transplanted, because this is appalling. And there's a saying in my dad's area of Italy, in the south, and they say, you can cook a zucchini in a lot of ways, but it's still a zucchini. and that's the thing. We could put Spaletti there, we could put Ancelotti there, we can practice 3 times a day, but these players don't have it in them. And given the fact that we've changed coaches 3 times in a year now, I think we're at, I lost count a bit, but you're still with the same players and the same results. I think that says a lot as well. I think that says a whole lot. And we're talking about defense and Gregorio, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. We couldn't even, and Como is known for having or getting a lot of counters against them because they play with a lot of courage and openly. We weren't even able to execute a proper shot on goal against them, against one of the teams with the most, open defense in a way, in terms of creating chances. This game, if not the game in the Champions League, has made it to me very clear that this team, and with this coach, this management, and these players, has no future.
Yeah. Well, talk about quality. You cannot not mention our, and I think, Frederick, you even mentioned that in our Turin Giants WhatsApp thread, the quality of the dead ball situations, the quality of free kicks and corner kicks is just, there's for some reason always 2 players standing over the ball, and they always choose the wrong decision. It's always some weird back pass or confusion at the end of the sequence, like with Locatelli, who there was a free kick that if it was a good cross, it could have caused problems from Como. Instead, we stopped at the last second and decided to pass it to someone that was not a plan. It was just, let me give this to a closest player. The corner kicks, the short ones, the long ones, if we decide to boot it into the 6-yard box, it's too close. It's easily picked up by the keeper. It's just, what do you guys think about our current quality when it comes to that ball?
It makes me wonder, like, what is it that they do in training? What do they practice? Like, you see all the training pictures and you see, this player's back and that player's back. And then when it gets to applying it on the pitch, you just think, well, what in God's name are they doing? And the amount of times when things aren't going our way and it's just, right, get it to Conceição, get it to Yildiz, let them run forward, cross it into the box. To who? Who's there in the box? No one. We don't have the tallest player that can get in there is Turin or maybe McKennie, and the strikers are just non-existent in those situations. It happened again today. I didn't. Thankfully, my stream cut out like 20 minutes before the end, so I got 20 minutes of my time back. But for the first 45 minutes of the game, it's like just nothing. If you can't do it in open play, then should we not be able to do something from the dead ball situations? And there's nothing.
The funny thing is, a couple of years ago, when you had a free kick or a corner, you'd automatically stand up already because you knew some sort of danger was going to happen, and it'd be, in 25 to 30% of the cases, it'd be a sure goal. Now I find myself being mad because the referee tends to blow for a foul when I thought just let him play on, because this foul is not going anywhere. We're not doing anything with it. Like with a corner, you'd see the Curva suit standing up and cheering. Mm-hmm. Now they're just a corner.
Mm-hmm.
So
speaking of corners, one of the players that is kind of designated because he's too short, I guess, is Chico. Tell me, when he comes out as a substitute, Chico is starting to get a little tired to me. As far as same move, not dangerous enough. These players, they get signed, and all of a sudden, it's like quality goes down.
Well, I'm
50%.
tired of Chico.
No, let's talk about Chico. Let's talk about, since it's scorched earth, baby. Everyone's going down. Chico, you're on the chopping block for Frederick.
No, I'll let Rav go first. Maybe he's a little bit more forgiving than I am.
No, not at all. He was a player who came in and he was fantastic in the first. Well, not even fantastic, but he was good in the first season when he came in. And now it's like every single team that we play against has watched how he plays, his style of play, what he does when he gets into that final third, which foot he's going to turn on, when he's going to cut back, when he's going to cross. They haven't figured out. It's so rare, it seems, these days that he does anything beyond sort of get forward, fall down, look at the referee with those kind of pleading eyes, like, please, someone hurt me, give us a free kick. He just seems like a one-trick pony. And
And the thing is,
when was the last time he scored or assisted? Do either of you know? Because I can't.
Well, we can ask the chat. Chat, when's the last time Chico scored?
I think it was October. but we knew that beforehand because you've seen him play at Ajax, which is hardly, at that point, was not a top European club. But even in the Eredivisie, in the Dutch league, they had him figured out. He couldn't, put a dent in a pack of butter back then. Yeah, you decide to purchase him for 35 or what is it, almost 40 million euros if you add up the loan fee. I'm starting to think that a lot of these things that are happening right now is due to our own fault. I mean, if you look at the Koopmeiners situation, I don't think anybody's at fault there. Something happened. He crumbled psychologically. And these things happen. You move on, but you make sure that doesn't happen again. Yet we persist in doing the same things over and over again. We overpay Chico. We overpay Openda. We give David a salary of 6.5 million net. I mean,
Frederick, remind me, what's the definition of insanity?
yeah, doing
Doing
the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. And that's my whole gripe with this whole situation. Because Zach and I, when Kamoli was first assigned, we were kind of enthusiastic because we thought that we had found somebody who was unbiased and who would be very much into discovering new players, but also paying them accordingly. But now we're paying mediocre players, star players' salary or transfer fees, and we don't seem to progress from that. So I'm not saying this or this person out or whatever, but somebody needs to do something,
yeah.
because we're not just heading for a sporting disaster, but also a financial one. And I am the one who want. I want this. I generally want us not to qualify for Champions League. I really do.
Wow.
But I understand that, but that will hurt us more than giving them a lesson. Like, what's the reasoning behind? I know you're not just saying that. I know
No.
you have a reason for it.
Like, imagine we qualify for Champions League on the last day of the season, as we did last year. Then what's going to happen? Oh, we qualify. Well, we need players now. And then you go into panic mode and start planning your mercato last minute again, like we always do. And you start overpaying players or attracting players that really don't fit your squad. And next year, this time, we'll be in the same debate about
Yeah.
that. So for me, it's better take that loss, get all those players that you're gonna have coming back anyway, because what else are you gonna do with them? And leave it and just fortify the team in a steady manner. You need 3 starters at least in. Get those people in. Please listen to your coach. If it's Spalletti or whoever you want to pick on for longer term, listen to his guidance and the players that he wants. And then you set your goals. You say, okay, well, we didn't play Champions League this year. We don't have that much money, but we're going to try our best to qualify for Champions League next year. Then you do that, and then bit by bit you say, okay, we qualified. Now we want to make it to the semis. We want to be third in Serie A. We need 3 players again. You buy those players. And then but if you just keep haphazardly changing and firing and looking at spreadsheets and data and talking to, Lyon and Bournemouth for some of their reserves, then, I mean, it's best,
Yeah.
to pack it up.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen. I'm with you. Lesson has to be taught. Maybe even not qualifying for the Champions League this year could have been it, because I mean it took a last minute penalty from Locatelli to get us in, and I feel like right now. Tell me this. Humor me. What would the situation be right now had we not qualified for the Champions League? Like you said, you qualify and then all of a sudden everything is great. We are, social media is blowing up and Champions League is back. But really, what's the point of being in there if we're going to embarrass ourselves in Istanbul, losing 5-2? What in a parallel universe, Juventus doesn't qualify. What's the situation right now?
In reference to last season or this?
Like if we don't qualify last year, if Locatelli misses the penalty,
then you would have had a financial loss of over, and I think Rob can concur, knows a lot more about this than I do, but I think you're looking at a loss of 160 million,
Yeah. Oh.
whereas now we have a 58 million euro loss.
Yeah. Something like that.
Something along those lines, which doesn't mean shit, actually, because you have a 58 million euro loss because you bought more or you spend more than you got in, meaning that the players you sold, you hadn't sold them for a fair price. You sacrificed your financial vulnerability in order to get sporting results in. And I'm fine with that because hey, it's not my bank account that they transfer the money to. But we don't have the sporting results either. So we lost on both fronts in that regard. And now with having probably Nico and the scoop moment right here, Nico 99% will return to Juventus. With him returning and eventually, or maybe possibly even Douglas Luiz, then you're looking at potentially, if we miss out on Champions League this year, a 220, 230 million net loss. If that happens, you can forget about transfers for the coming 3 seasons.
That's when those Elkan selling the club rumors start all over again, because is Exel going to pump more money into the team again to try and get that deficit down? Are they going to keep doing these capital injections? They won't. They're just going to get to a point where they're like, we love this club, but hang on a second, you're costing us 100 million a year.
But here's the whole nice thing of this whole situation. Exor has spent already 80 million this season. They pumped 80 million into Juventus, hence why we're only losing 58 million. Not only that, but Elkan can't sell Juventus. It is literally in the Agnelli testament. If he sells Juventus, all his assets that he has right now that he inherited will be forfeited.
Wow.
So
yeah. All right, boys, let's get back to the game here. So we finally have, since, the disadvantage of going live right after the game, we don't have all the quotes from the coach and the players immediately, but we do have them now. And by the way, somebody shouted out, the real MVP is Alessandro Belpiero. That's for you. So here we go. Spaletti. Spalletti admits the real opponents for Juventus are ourselves. After visible psychological fragility in the 2-0 defeat to Como, he said it's all about self-belief. The Bianconeri form goes from bad to worse as they now scraped only 1 draw in the last 5 competitive games. Let's see if there's any more quotes from him. The performance was also dictated by that first goal because incidents do make the difference. We tried to get back into the game with individual pressing, but they forced us to go after them with their quality and possession. When you concede in the opening the opening goal 13 times, you pay for that in the long run. There was a spell when we had enthusiasm and some wonderful performances, but when that is lacking, so is self-belief. The errors prove costly, and it becomes difficult to react psychologically. A lot of blah blah blah. I mean, not pointing out anyone specific. Yeah, felt pressure. It's all about self-belief, blah, blah. Well, he's talking about self-belief a lot. And seems to me like that's part of the coach's work, coach's job, is to instill self-belief and get these young guys head straight, just like Fabregas did with Como. Look at them. They absolutely, I really enjoyed the way they played. And not only are they a great team, they're also, let me look at the standings here.
I think they're right behind us.
They are direct.
1 point.
They are direct opponents.
Yeah.
Como now have 45 points. We have 46 in 5th place. Roma again, kind of leapfrogged us with game in hand. Roma now have 47 points and we have 46. So
can I add something to?
Sorry,
absolutely.
Sorry, just the Spalletti bit. Because he closed off with a banger of a statement. They asked about the Roma game and the chances in Champions League. If this is the level we play at, we can't hope for any results against any opponent.
Wow,
that's
powerful.
Pretty harsh words, which makes me question the fact that Luciano wants to be our head coach next season. In all honesty.
I keep thinking to myself every single season, it's like this circle that just keeps going around, because I always maintain that these players, so many of them are not good enough for Juventus. And then we have a little run and people say, no, it's the coach. It's all down to the coach. You're getting this all wrong. It's about coaching. It's about tactics. It's about this. Look how well they're playing. Then everything falls apart and we're back in the same situation. And it's happened over and over and over again. Tudor, Motta, Pirlo, Sarri, and now Spalletti again. And I look at this squad and I just think, if we're being really ruthless based on today's performance alone, you look at those players, how many of those guys are really up to wearing that Juventus shirt? Like, with all the history, with all the standards that we have, and I can maybe count on one hand. And that's not me like knocking the players or being harsh on them or any of that kind of stuff. There comes a point where you just have to kind of put the tribalism to one side and the fino alla fine and all the slogans and just say, look, let's be really realistic. How many of these players can make the grade? And they just can't. They simply cannot. And we're going to probably end up being in the same situation next season. Just the same thing. Talking about coaches, tactics, players, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
For me, there are two things that can remedy this situation. And I'm by no means an expert, but I see a lot of people clamoring about, where are we heading to? What can we do? Two things need to happen, in my opinion, or at least as a starting point to, tip the scale in that sense. I'd start with a delisting from the stock market because that's holding us back more than anything. I'm not going to elaborate on that because I'll have 2 hours to fill. But if you Google a bit and you look at the complexities of being publicly noted as a stock asset, it makes things a lot more difficult, especially in football terms. That's one thing I do. And the second thing I do is I'd have another president. I feel that our president is absent. And in all the years that I followed Juventus, the president was somebody of the greatest importance in terms of aura. We're talking about aura. We're talking about Kenam. Well, our presidents had aura. And if there was a turning point in the competition or in certain competitions or things were not going the way they were supposed to go, you'd see our president, on the sideline, on the training pitch, talking with the players, talking with the coaches. And I think this helps a lot because you have a sense of accountability at that point, but you also have a sense of belonging because hey, this guy's the president with a lot of fame and stature in Italy or Europe, and you kind of feel obliged to put that performance in. You kind of feel accredited to do that, for him, for the name, for everything he stands for, because it's still the president. We don't have that right now. We don't. We really don't. Comoli often comes. He doesn't speak with the players. I'm not sure. I'd go for delisting and a president with some appeal. I'd be on the phone with Platini this very second.
Yeah.
And I'd say we're in dire need of somebody with some political weight, some aura, and some football knowledge. Please help us out. And I'm pretty sure that Platini would accept, not for 10 years because whatever, but I'm pretty sure that these are the two things that are the first things that need to happen. And then you can build upon the structure and transfer and financials. But if you don't have the basics in order, then you're just repeating the same mistakes season after season and putting a patch on a wooden leg, hoping it'll stick. And that's not gonna, remedy the situation.
Yeah. Well, we got a Colo 99 here in the comments. Dan Colosimo is saying, guys, at least we have each other. We do have each other. And it's so funny because, this podcast has been around for like 14, 13 years now, and we were used to winning for 9 Scudetti in a row. It was there was maybe 1 or 2 therapy sessions here and there, but people truly do turn to us now and say, "You guys are literally." We started calling them therapy sessions because some of these devastating losses are just norm now, which is really sad.
This is my 10th this season, my 10th therapy session this season.
You're practically a therapist by now.
Which is pretty bad, but it's the first one without my man Zach. So shout out to Zach.
I
would have hoped that we could share this 10th anniversary of of specials, of therapy sessions together, but alas, but that's the thing. I don't mind doing this. I don't mind, showing up even when the weather is rough. But you all also look forward and hope for that glimpse of light, that ray of light to hit you, and looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not seeing it at this point. And for my own good, I have to take a step back from being this involved in Juventus, because it's really gotten to a point that it's beyond frustrating. And I don't speak to Rav as much as I would hope to speak to him, because I really like him. But I think in the way that I can see him react, and the things I hear from, that he's a bit in the same boat as I am. And it's devastating that a lot of supporters, a lot of people that hold Juve dear and want the best for Juventus, get to feel this way. And there is a shift that needs to come sooner
Yeah.
than later, in my opinion.
Well, let's
Just say
sorry,
what-
Rob, go ahead, buddy.
So, not to rant or anything, but for me, there are two things that are so apparent when you look at this club and you look at the management. Exactly what Frederick was saying. There's too many empty suits. These people are not tied to the club. They brought Chiellini in. That's a good first step. But where's the vision? What's the plan? We knew back in 2010-11 when Agnelli took over, he brought in Marotta and Paratici, new stadium, youth team. We're going to have this new business center. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. He was so forward thinking about where this club needed to be. He looked around the world. He looked at the Premier League. He was 10 steps ahead of every single other Serie A club. The guy was a visionary. I know people, want to take him down and slag him off. That's fine. But look at what he did and compare that to now. There is no vision whatsoever.
He'll always be my president. Sorry, he'll always be my president.
100%. The other thing that we absolutely must fix as a priority this summer is the defense. Everything at Juventus, every success we've had, it starts there. If you have a poor defense, if you can't rely on that back line, we will have no success whatsoever. You look at all the success we've had in years gone by since we've all been Juventini. You look at the back line, it was like made out of concrete, reinforced by steel. Nothing was going to get past that. And now it's just the same thing week in, week out. We go a goal ahead, and I'm just counting down to when we're going to concede. We have to outscore teams every time. Those two things, if we can fix those two things, like Frederick said, then I would have some hope and I would be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel. It starts with the management. If you can see the vision from high on up, we can follow. But there is no vision there. It's just cycles, season, cycle, season. Nothing.
Well said. Frederick, I mean, we haven't even touched on the second goal, which was also a disaster. I mean, both goals were just out of nowhere. They did not need to be there. And it's, again, a mistake. They completely outran us on the counterattack. That was clinical. That was so beautiful. And it hurts me to say, because as a purist of the game, I really do love a good counterattack. I just hate it when every pass is so perfect and it's your team that's defending and you're waiting for your team to kind of do something and nothing goes your way in those little 10-15 seconds. Because counterattacks, I mean, they take 10-15 seconds and boom, 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 couple of passes, and they were able to literally score in an empty net. That was hurtful to watch as well. I don't know if you guys want to add to your thoughts about the goal, but
I just feel, and you can see in the Galatasaray game and the Como game that they're waiting for us to make a mistake. They know
which is coming, you know it.
Yeah, and they're preying on it, and it happens. Yeah. As day turns into night, we make mistakes, and they take advantage of that. And the thing that I want to wrap my head around is, it's not the fact that we make mistakes, because we're human, and I know these things happen, and it's football and whatever. But why can't we be the ones that profit from other teams' mistakes? We never seem to do that. We're not clinical. We're not hungry enough. We're not experienced enough. And we're not driven enough. And that's the difference, because we had our moments when you saw that there was literally like a hole in the midfield that you'd say, come on, get that counter in, make haste and make haste is such a 1930s expression. I love it. Far from that.
Old-timey Frederick is back.
No, but speed the process up, get some tempo going, and we just don't. And that's a lack of grinta, that's a lack of experience, and that's a lack of footballing IQ. And
Yeah.
that's what we're faced with. That's what we're faced with at this point.
Yeah, devastating run, devastating counterattack against us. Kind of put the nail in the coffin. You just knew. Not even weren't we going to come back and win it. There was no way we were going to equalize and score 2 goals with the quality that we produced this game.
That's the worst part. You kind of look at it, you go, where is the comeback going to come from? Which player is going to inspire this? And like Frederick was saying, so many unforced errors. Like Koopman is playing that ball up and over to the goalkeeper at one point when they almost scored a second back then. You just think sometimes it's not even real pressure that these guys are under. They're still making these little tiny errors, and it's just mistake after mistake after, and they all just add up.
Can I give one quick anecdote, a bit of Juve history, and an anecdote?
Make it long if you want.
No, but there was a moment I had the luck of speaking to ex-Juve players in the past, and I spoke with Didier Deschamps before he became a national coach, and there was something that always I found intriguing about Deschamps in the sense that he was always very low profile, in the sense that he just ran like crazy and play the easy passes, but with a lot of sense and a lot of targeted movement behind that. And that was his biggest quality. And I asked him why, because technically he was a very valid player. And I asked him, why did he never do anything more technical? And he said, I tried in a game against Udinese in the first half, and it backfired on me. And we almost conceded because of, my losing of focus or the technical thing, that the mishap. And when we entered the dressing room, Torricelli literally picked me up and pushed me against the wall and said, if you ever try anything like that, I'll bite your face off. But imagine who's going to do that now? Who's going to do that? Imagine Cambiasso doing a Cambiasso. Who's going to go into the dressing room and say, you ever do that again, I'm going to break both of your legs?
That's a very good point. Good point.
There's nobody you fear. There's nobody who takes the shirt
accountability
and wears the shirt even when it's not on. And that's the issue. You used to have people in your team that you respected, you feared, and you listened to. Now everybody's just looking at each other, not knowing what to do. Not even Spaletti. The last 20 minutes, you couldn't hear him say anything anymore. Spaletti checked out 20 minutes prior to the end of the game. So if you don't have that structure in place, then it's really, really difficult to become a solid team. I'm not sure if Rav, because I know Rav is very analytical of Juventus as a whole, but I think that the missing of accountability, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rav, in a whole, in management, in staffing, and in the team itself, I think that's something that goes haywire and feeds these errors and this insecurity and sense of not belonging. Or am I completely overlooking into it?
I completely agree with you, because I think there has to be somebody out there in every single squad that we've had. There has to be someone, like you say, that the other players are perhaps a little bit afraid of, a healthy fear. And he has to be the one that takes the coach's ideas, the tactics, and he understands them so well that he's able to be on the pitch and translate them literally to the other players. We've had that.
It's the extension of the coach.
Exactly. Conte and Deschamps under Lippi and on under Capello and under Conte when he was coaching Juve, Pirlo and Marchisio, all these players, they understood. And more importantly, they had a connection from the previous winning Juve team to the next Juve winning team. I remember Marchisio saying that story just as he was about to leave, about how he was in the dressing room and he was talking to the players and he was telling them how important it is that when you step out onto the pitch and you're wearing this shirt, there is a lot of responsibility that goes with that. who is I know Locatelli is a Juventino, and that's great, and blah blah blah. And I'm not dissing him or anything like that. But who is there in that team now that has had that passed on from generation to generation? Like Frederick said, they are lost because that legacy that ties every winning team together, or even just teams together, they simply do not understand. They talk about the shirt and the weight of the shirt, but they do not understand it in the slightest. When you're out there, you need to be giving so much more. And Frederick, everything Frederick said, I agree with. Accountability.
Thank you so much, Rob. I really love you, but you know that already. But to nitpick, it's not even nitpicking. But when Ronaldo came in, I know a lot of people saying Ronaldo was the worst thing we could do and whatever. But you have to agree, at that time we were all cheering and applauding and hoping for the Champions League victory or whatever. But Ronaldo actually said there were two things that made me come to Juventus. The first was the standing ovation when I scored the overhead kick, which is normal because it feeds into his ego. I can agree. I can, I see the validation there. But the other thing was talking with Agnelli. And he said the way that Agnelli spoke about this club as if it were a family and how important it was to him. And we didn't even speak about financial things, but just the passion, the warmth, and the love made me want to be a part of that family. And that is what we are lacking right now.
For sure. Agnelli was, like Ralph said, I really like that. He called him a visionary. Look how many things came to life, and we were light years ahead of everyone in Serie A, and then we're not. We're a banter club, right? Is it safe to say now? Is that the saying? We are the Italian Manchester United, as they call as someone said in the comments.
Yeah, we are.
Well, that's really sad. So before we conclude this episode of another 1 millionth therapy session, I wanted to read a couple of comments here from Pinu Bianco 80. Just a note that I wanted to bring up from him. I was never into podcasts, but my dad died last year, and I miss connecting through Juventus, and that's what this community gives me. So I thank you, grazie mille. We appreciate you. Sorry for your loss. It must be devastating. So if you anyone, all jokes aside, if you need someone to talk to, our DMs and our million ways to reach us is open. Please don't hesitate to contact us, even if it's not Juventus related, especially if it's not Juventus related and you have no one to speak to. We're all dads here. We know how to deal with someone else's problem. So please reach out. We will not leave you alone.
Agree.
So,
Far, can I add one more thing? I'd
absolutely.
like to, in the absence of Zach, because he does a wonderful thing with PR and marketing. He's an absolute genius, apart from being a very good friend. But we're reaching our 1,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. I think we're about at 950 something, which isn't that groundbreaking in terms of.
It's literally groundbreaking. Well, not literally, but it is groundbreaking.
It is for us, and I wanted to take this moment to thank everybody, because I get to do a lot more podcasts than you can because of your work and your busy life, which is understandable. But I see the same names popping up and people interacting and asking questions and helping us, not only by subscribing, but making this enjoyable and making this
100%.
last longer than it even should. And I just want to take a quick moment to shout them out, because these are the people that we do it for. But it's always so nice to see getting that love back from them and growing and seeing the same people here and feeling like they're friends already. So I just wanted to shout out the audience and everybody in chat.
Thank you. No, we
love you all.
Since we're doing the Mutual Adoration Society here, thank you all for, we started with zero. We started the YouTube channel about a year and a half ago after a series of unfortunate events when our channel was hijacked, and I don't even know what's happening with that part now, because we don't care. We're nearly 1,000 subscribers in, starting from zero, organic growth, no followers purchased or anything like that. So I would like to extend my thank you to Frederick, Zach and Kevin and Jack and Rav and everyone who on the B team who supported us. We thank you. When we hit that 1,000 subscribers, we will have a special Turin Giants after hours edition of 1K subs on YouTube, because it's a big deal for us. Now we can do a lot more with 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully. We were projecting end of the season, and we are way ahead of schedule. So, you know what? I'm going to play this one more time because the kids love Turin Giants podcast. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing to be close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's dream come true. We when we started from zero, I never thought this would be possible again. Frederick, I love you, man. Appreciate you bringing that up. Scoop T-shirts are available. I'm doing a restock on Delle Alpi shirts. I tried a new color. I should have brought it with me. The light green on white. It's a beauty. It's a beauty.
I'm gonna do some giveaways though eventually as well.
Oh, for sure. When we hit 1,000, Turin Giants After Hours, which is my show with Rav. We will for sure do a few giveaways. We'll have some stickers available, posters, shirts, hoodies. We're gonna do it big because
Can I do a quick announcement?
Of course.
I wanted to extend my thanks. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I have this vintage Juventus jacket kind of thing. I don't know if you saw it, Farhad. I shared a picture with you.
Absolutely. It's my phone background now.
I'm gonna give it to somebody of the viewers. I'm gonna enter it in the giveaway.
Wow.
Let's do it. No, it's from back in the days. It's not one of those made overseas right now. It's authentic Kappa, right?
It's matter of fact, I'll go get it just to get the buzz going and get us to 1,000 a lot more quicker. So if you want that, amongst other things, be sure to get everybody into subscribe and on YouTube and then we can give these things away. And I'll maybe throw in a couple of more things, but I'll go get it right now so that people can see, if you don't mind.
You heard it here first. He's gonna give away. Oh no, what happened? We lost Frederick. We're gonna.
I'm off to get the jacket so they can see.
I got you. Well, let's do it, man. So just to we always do the big testicles of the week of the game, and I'm struggling to find a man of the match. Rav, who do you think using SofaScore.com? Who do you think earned the big testicles of the game?
I looked at the ratings after the game, and like I said, I missed the last sort of 20 minutes. And who seriously can you give it to in that team? Maybe Locatelli, possibly, but can we not just not award it? Can we just give it to us?
You want to keep? You don't want to waste it this time? Hey, I'd be totally with you. I mean, they gave 7.8 to Yildiz. Don't know why. Oh, look at Frederick is back. Let me zoom you in real quick.
That is beautiful, man. Look at
his beauty. You look like Vialli came back to life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But I'm gonna give this one away. For me, it's one of the absolute classics with the hood. I don't even think it was commercially available because it's the one with the zipper and the buttoning.
Oh my God.
But this one's in our 1,000 subscriber giveaway after our show.
I love it. No, we're gonna have a great podcast when we hit 1,000 followers. Frederick disappeared again. I wanted to ask him, but basically, SofaScore is giving 7.8 to Yildiz.
I have very big testicles.
You were gonna ask me about the big testicles of the game?
Yes, sir. Who do you think barely deserved it today?
I'm gonna have to follow Rob on this one. There wasn't anyone that made me feel like, oh, that's a nice.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrendous, and I know SofaScore gave it to Yildiz, but I
just because he looked the best, I guess he rocked the jersey the best.
yeah, and I really have no idea. I really have no idea. No, nobody,
No,
nobody,
nobody.
nobody.
No. Well,
No.
in a long tradition of Farhad's man of the match, De Gregorio gets my man of the match with 6.0. I don't think I've seen a score so low on SofaScore, but yeah, that's. I think Jack is also. Shout outs to Jack as well. He's the latest addition to the Turin Giants family. He's been showing a lot of dedication and love for the channel. So we appreciate you, buddy. He's saying, let's go Turin Giants family. Almost 1,000 followers on YouTube. Like I said, we're going to be able to do a lot more stuff on YouTube with 1,000 of y'all following us. Boys, what do you think we ended here? What do you think if we ended here?
I'd like Rav's predictions for the Galatasaray and the Roma game, to be honest.
Let's do it.
Galatasaray, I think 2-1. The Roma game, Locatelli suspended, Jonathan David back. I think it will probably end like 1-1. I don't have high hopes about that game. Roma are a good team, and Gasparini is a good coach. And I think what's his name, Daniel Malin, he seems to be like their kind of Kolo Muani. He's just banging in the goals at the moment. So tricky. So yeah, I think disappointment next week and maybe disappointment the weekend. I'm so sorry to everybody that is listening to this that wants to be like, upbeat and positive. But the season is over for us in February, and we're fighting for top 4. So
we're ending our seasons earlier and earlier every year. It's February now, boys.
Yeah.
What about you, Frederick?
I think we're gonna lose 1-3 against Galatasaray.
Oh wow!
Yeah, because we can see it like crazy. I mean, if I shoot a ball out of my backyard and it ends up in Turin, it'll be in between the post and Di Gregorio can't even catch it. So
oh no!
And Roma, I think will lose 2-1. I think Roma has had some issues scoring. They resolved that with Malen. But not just Malen. If you see them playing with the midfield, their midfield is very aggressive, and it's either all or nothing for Roma in certain games. But when they are on fire, when they have that confidence, they can beat a lot of teams. And to beat Juventus at this stage doesn't take all that much. So I'm not that confident about the. And if we lose, should we lose or even draw, then the season is officially over. There's no getting back from that. We're at 90% right now with the Galatasaray result and then the result of today. Should we not win against Roma, then this season is officially done. We can pack it in. I'm sorry to say.
Pack it up, pack it in. Rav, can you remind me what you predicted against Roma?
I think 1-1. I think it's going to be like they score,
1-1.
They sit back, and then we try and.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I am, call me crazy, but I do have hope for the Galatasaray game. I think they. I don't know what the reasoning is. I just want to believe. I'm sorry. I have nothing else to live for if we're going to lose that game. But maybe 4-1 because there's no away goal rule anymore. 4-1, and then the game goes to overtime, as I believe, right? And then Di Gregorio scores a last-minute penalty. There you go. I predicted it. It's going to happen. Might as well have some fun with it, right? But all jokes aside, are we going to lose? Probably. Am I going to still watch and hope, and we're going to have maybe a therapy session afterwards? Absolutely. So please come back after that game against Roma. I think we have higher chances against Roma, especially after beating Galatasaray. The spirits will be all-time high. So maybe we'll win against Roma as well. But I'm half kidding. We're losing both. just getting some content out there. Everyone in the comments, thank you so much. Again, great numbers, great comments. We love you guys that you spent this maybe not the best post-game result, but you're here for us. We're here for you. Love you guys. Frederick, Rav, thank you guys for joining me. Everyone else, please check out many shows on youtube.com/Turin Giants official. We love you all. As always, check on your friends. stay hydrated, and Forza Juve.
Parte Del Piero, rete Del Piero.
Pallone con i contadini per Nedved, Pirlo, la conclusione in rete, Andrea Pirlo, un gol pazzesco!
Del Piero, gol! Alex Del Piero!
Palla di Pogacar, Pogba, rete! Un gol incredibile! Pogba fa esplodere lo Juventus.